Okay, cool.
Yay! More is happening, you know?
Sure, sure. Okay, cool.
Yay! Okay, now we're live properly. That's kind of nice. I have a little light up there. It's like shining down.
Little angel halo. Yeah, that's good. Just keep the actual direct light out there if you can. I have a tendency to stop thinking of just tipping the laptop lid and try not to do that.
Like me.
Yeah. There you go. That looks great.
Oh, good.
Is our audio up right now or no?
People in the chat already like, when album? Hello, everybody. Yes, we hear.
Lucas, instead of using the Wi-Fi, please tether or hotspot your phone just to not chew up the Wi-Fi, the local Wi-Fi.
For sure.
Hi, Busty. Hi, Vejos. Oh, we already got... El Tio is here, too. Beautiful. Also, oh, yep, iFeature is here, too. Beautiful. Dankeschön. Gesundheit. Basepug. Oh, hello. White Raven. Oh, nice. Absolutely everybody. UVR3. Oh yeah, did you come to the Houston show? I wasn't sure if you were going to be there again. Houston was awesome. Austin was also awesome. Atlanta, yep. Also, Alden, if you're in the chat, make yourself noticeable so I can make you moderator. Good evening, everybody. We're going to wait for people to come in, and then we'll start in about 5 minutes.
And Val, if you see Alden in the chat.
Yeah, I just asked for him to make himself visible. Oh, nice! You came to the show. Hell yeah!
At always evoke.
Okay, yeah. Alden, just do like a text in the chat that is at me, so it is with the. Oh, there you are. Gotcha. Found you. You are now a moderator as well. Beep 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 beep.
I shouldn't have listened to that Lewis Cole Sooner shit.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna show that at some point.
Okay, cool.
We're gonna do a bunch of things today. We got about 2 hours. Like, yeah, we're gonna do like 2 hours of stuff. Very happy to show you all kinds of stuff. Also, this is all today under the umbrella of this site, Slam Academy, which is where I'm teaching and have been teaching. And I have its founder here with me, Mr. James Patrick.
What's up, everyone?
Oh, I'm being very professional here with everything right now, as you can tell. I'm just to bring the mic over here.
Sure.
There we go.
Hi, gang. What's up, everyone? Thanks for coming to the stream today.
So every once in a while, I'm doing these workshops as live streams that people can join into, and then my regular job here is that I run a little course called Advanced EDM Production, where it's a 12-week course with a 3-hour lesson once a week, and I do it online over Zoom and in person here in Minneapolis. So.
Yeah, it's really great. The class is once a week. It meets for 3 hours. Seats are limited, though, just so everyone gets a chance to hang out with Val and actually get some one-on-one time. We try to keep the seats to a manageable amount. We restart the class every 12 weeks, so if you're not lucky enough to get in this one that starts next week, you can just activate a membership with us. We're going to be giving away a bunch of free memberships today during the stream. So if you have a membership, that's how you get first dibs on the course. So if you want to spend 12 weeks, 3 hours a week, that one night a week for 3 hours for 12 weeks with Val, activate that membership, claim your free membership. We're giving them all away today for free. And then if you're not lucky enough to claim a seat in time, because you'll be like hyper refreshing your page and grabbing a seat. But if you're not lucky enough to grab one, we'll be starting it again in 12 weeks. So every 12 weeks we rotate it. And then if you live in the Twin Cities area, you're lucky enough you can actually do the same course live and smell as BO and everything. So it's going to be great. Yeah, I think that's the big shtick. Lucas, did I miss anything important?
Do we have the link in the description?
Oh yeah, give me the link. I'll put it in the description.
Yeah. So this link will get you a month free membership,
And additional other things
as well as a
Yeah.
bunch of other stuff.
If you want to text me that, I can put that in. Also, $5 from Braden. Thank you very much. I love your song Idols and Paper Planes, but the second drop on Dreaming is just insane. Oh, thank you, man. I totally forgot there's there's more. $9, $10 from Zenadi EDM. Had a blast last night, Val. Thank you so much. I drove 2 hours to attend and worth every penny. Oh, that's sick. Yeah, I had so much fun last night. That was like the first weekend of tour shows.
Yeah, he's not lying. He told me all about how cool it was, and also I got to hear his new intro.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna show it to you all.
So yeah, I'll sneak out of the camera, but yeah, if anyone has any questions about what's going on with all this, you could shoot an email to info@slamacademy.com. Otherwise, when you again accept your free membership that we're offering today, you'll be invited to our private Discord server, as well as be able to use the community channels on your Slam member dashboard. And that'll all be free and included. So yeah, members get dibs on the actual course. We'd love to have you in the class. And we've been doing it for about 2 years now, I think, Val.
Yeah.
And we've seen some really great success. So join us up here at Slam Academy. We'd love to work with you.
I just put the link into the description. Also, Jesus Christ, White Raven with 50 Canadian dollars. You're mental. Oh, okay. He says, he's been to this course multiple times. He says, worth investing in the membership, whether you take VR's course or take another course. The staff are kind and will help you and give amazing feedback. Go to school, nerds. Aww. Oh, yeah. I'll get back in.
Maybe I just sent you both links. So there's one.
Oh, there's another link.
There's one for the free gifts, and there's one for the class.
Okay, yeah, that was the freebies link, and then the full class link. Yeah, let me update that. Give me free stuff, full class, save. There we go. Also, we have 200, almost 300 people in here. Beautiful. I'm recording this at the same time. Don't worry. Sweet. Yeah. So, let me start with. I've got everything set up. We've got Ableton ready. Don't worry. Let me talk a little bit about what I do in my class. Obviously, there's all kinds of different classes here at Slam. JP, if you want to chime in, I know there is a vocal production class. There is a class on DJing, Ableton Basics, mixing and mastering, sound design. Yep. Did I miss anything?
Yeah, sure. We've been an Ableton Certified Training Center for 14 years. I was actually the first Ableton Certified trainer in the world back in 2006. I helped develop.
I had no idea.
Yeah, I helped develop that program with Ableton, and I've been a contractor with their education department. So through for 20, whatever many years, and so through that experience is how I've written, along with a lot of our other great instructors, over 20 courses that we have. They're all 12 weeks long. We have beginner courses that talk about the foundations of music production. And then we have 3 different levels of Ableton Live. We have 3 different levels of sound design, which is great. I've written a couple books about sound design. It covers everything you need to know, starting with analog and modular synthesis, looking through FM and sampling and using effects and all the cool things you're going to want to do to crush it with your music production. And then we have a whole bunch of genre-specific courses. We have a bass music course that's instructed by Abstract Sonance from Deep, Dark, and Dangerous and many other great accolades. We also have a DJ course that's coming out. We have 2 different levels of DJ, but our advanced bass music DJ course is instructed by Youngsta. If you're familiar with Youngsta, a UK deep dub legend, he's really great. And then we have vocal production, mixing and mastering, quite a few other advanced courses as well. So they're all 12 weeks long. They require you just being available, having an internet connection and a set of headphones. And beyond that, clicking on your free membership link down in the description. So grab that membership, get dibs. All of those courses start next week. So that's part of the reason why we're so hyped. So let's get you in there. Thanks for the chance to hype that, Val.
Nailed it.
Yep.
Beautiful. In terms of requirements for classes, for my class, it is a little bit required that you are fluent in Ableton and that you know your way around, because we kind of like jump in at a little more advanced level, hence the name Advanced EDM Production, of course. Also, thank you for the $10 Noisy PC 6983. Thank you for simulation. That album changed my life, dude. That is crazy. Thank you very much. If I can have a positive influence with my music on people, that's all I ever wanted. The course I do, Advanced EDM Production, covers a little bit of everything. It does get very nerdy at the start. I talk about all the different kinds of synthesis and give you some examples, and we're gonna obviously go deep into sound design for pads, ARPs, synths, basses, of course, and dubstep stuff. We're gonna look at all kinds of different bass music subgenres like mid-tempo, drum and bass, house, techno, dubstep, tear out rhythm, complextro. You also have a chance to sort of influence a little bit where the course goes, obviously. Like at the start of the course, I'll ask what you all want to learn, what subjects you might want some focus on, and then I have a little bit of my own stuff that I always do. But this also keeps changing and updating every time I do the course again. So there'll be like a lot about workflow optimizations in Ableton, then the whole synthesis stuff and sound design stuff. Then we're going to look into like drum synthesis, how to make kicks, snares, hi-hats, toms, percussions from scratch. Obviously, you don't have to make all your drums from scratch, but it's good to know how to do that, especially if you want to get into making sample packs and that kind of stuff. Looking into drum programming for different genres, what are the classic tropes of different genres, arrangement techniques, how like a classic song is arranged and how the arrangement differs in the different EDM genres, how to make all the fun transitionary stuff like impacts, risers, fall downs, and ear candy yourself, versus also obviously using samples and modifying samples and messing with audio. That's always very fun. And then we go into chords, melodies, call and response, writing chord progressions, even if you don't have a lot of music theory background, how you can easily achieve some cool stuff. We're going to look into a little bit of that today as well. Crazy effects chains, of course, making Ableton effect racks like I always do, making your own fat rack, and then remixing, working with vocals, chopping up vocals, and then at some point we go into like you as the class can pick a vocal for me to remix and make a remix in front of you out of it, and you can also like be like, hey, use this kind of sound, or use this sample, like implement that. And then you also all get a chance to send me stuff. There'll be homework too. I got homework for you all, usually after every class, to show next time, and I give feedback, and then towards the end of the class you have a chance to show me stuff you've been working on and for me to give you feedback on that. So that's sort of my line out of my class. Anything? Oh no, you guys are doing some stuff. All good. That's sort of the line out of my class. Also, Augustin, thank you for the 100. What is that? Is that Argentinian money? I don't know how much that is in dollars, but I love you too. Oh, there's a question. Does the live class in Minneapolis restart every 12 weeks as well? Yes. Yeah, they both run in parallel. So, and $20 from AOL free trial. Thank you so much. Yeah, they do restart, and they both run at the same time. So the week number 5 online class, the same week will be week number 5 in-person class. Usually the in-person class here in Minneapolis is on Tuesdays. The online class is on Wednesdays, and Minneapolis time, it's usually 7 to 10 p.m. Same for the online class on Wednesdays. So you can sort of do the math, what time that is going to be for you, depending on where you are in the world. And you can see if that works for you. Sometimes I might be on tour, and then someone else has to fill in for an in-person class. The online class I can usually do if I'm somewhere else. For example, next week I'm going to be in LA for NAMM, so I won't be able to do the in-person class. Someone else is going to fill in, and we're going to make up for it with some other thing as well. Also, at the end of every class, like at the end of every week, like every 3-hour class, you're gonna get a bunch of like whatever presets we've made that time, whatever effect racks we've made, or the project file of that class. And the online ones we're also recording. So if you miss an online class because you couldn't participate, then you can recap, you can catch up with the recording of that class.
We counted over 4,000 samples. And
What was that?
Like 4,000 samples, 100 racks. And stuff.
Oh yeah, you also get you get a ton of stuff from me as well. Like I'm like at the start of the class, I'm gonna give you like a sample pack library and some presets that we will all together be using throughout the whole class, so that when I make something, either in the in-person class or the online class, and I'm grabbing kicks and snares and some loops to like arrange something really quickly, it's all going to be from the same folder that everybody has. So A, you can work along, and B, if you open it up on your end, it's all going to work and everything. So we're all using the same material. That just makes it a little bit easier. Also, $10 from Phantom, who says, I just got done with round 2 in person with VR. It's incredible. I'm going on year 20 of DJing and learned quite a bit. Beginners, to those who've been around, Slam Academy has something for you. Thank you so much for all the shoutouts for Slam. That's awesome. Yeah, we got some people who have participated in the chat. White Raven as well. He's like in one of my online classes that he was in, I gave out stems for some of my songs. For example, This Could Be Us. And then he made a remix of it that I've been playing in my sets ever since then because it was just so good. So this might happen if you're in the online class. Who knows? Or in the in-person class. This could happen to you. Cool.
Is the free gifts for today, though?
Oh, yeah, right. Nice. So the free gifts, if you go into the description for today, is, let me just read this out. Start a free 30-day membership to get instant access to Virtual leaked course files pack, all made by me, 12 gigabytes, 1.2 gigabytes of exclusive samples, 38 faceplan presets, 66 serum presets, 150 plus racks, and exclusive project files from the stream and advanced EDM classes. There's also hundreds of hours of course material, so like Slam Academy also has a lot of stuff online on their website in video format that you can just watch at any time that you get access to if you're part of Slam Academy or if you claim the free gift. So that's some of my stuff from my class, but also from the other classes. There's a lot of really good stuff in there. Monthly member-only workshops with your favorite artists. 50% off Ableton Live, FabFilter, Isotope, and Sound Toys. 30% off Kilohertz, Cable Guys, Sound Gym. Exclusive live coaching and networking and community hub, which I think is one of the most important parts of music education. When I went to university in Minneapolis, in Mannheim, also starts with an M, in Germany, for example, and I went and studied music production there, I feel like I learned just as much from the professors as I learned from all the other students there, because it was just this hub of really excited young people wanting to learn music production, already having like their own ideas and just wanting to share with everyone else all the cool new stuff they found, like the new plugins, new presets, new techniques, new chord progressions. It was really nice, and it's good to have that kind of community, even if you're all from different places in the world. You have a Discord channel where people can exchange ideas and talk to each other, and different channels in there for different topics. So that's all really awesome, and I can only recommend. And all right. Oh, one more $10 from Aosa. So there's a set schedule that might be hard for me to work with and all. So for the classes, it's the Tuesdays in person and Wednesdays online from 7 to 10 Minneapolis time. So you have to do the math depending on where you are at in the world if you want to join the online course from somewhere else. And again, if you miss any of the online classes, we always record them so you can catch up and watch the recordings at any other time. Sweet. All right, now that I have yapped for quite a long time in a row, I want to show you some cool stuff. So I've prepared some stuff for today. I've made a little list of things I want to show you, and if we make any cool racks, presets, and sounds today, then you're obviously also all gonna get the files from today for free. But today I wanted to start off by showing you some fun stuff. So I this last weekend, yesterday, I played in Houston, and the day before in Austin, Texas. And this is the start of my new Burning Out tour. And obviously for a new tour, I had to come up with a new intro, and I wanted to show it to you all real quick. So the easiest way I can do that actually is if we go over to Ableton, and I just drag the file in real quick. Yep, My Little Pony. From I think is it in the movies? No, it's in the Dropbox. And just grab that over here. And I'm just going to kick things off with this. And then we're just all going to watch this together. If you are planning on going to my my tour, to one of my Burning Out tour stops, and you don't want to be spoiled by what this intro is going to be, then you can just take a 4-minute break if you want to. But otherwise, here we go. I'm going to just mute my mic for the time being. Also, this is a quick test if you can all hear this. This looks good over here. All right. Let me pull up the shortcut for the video window changed again. What is it now? Oh my god, it's 4 buttons. Shift, Option, Command, and V. Nice. Okay, we got this.
Hey guys, what is going on? My name is Virtual Riot, and today I want to show you how to make a really cool and dramatic intro for a DJ set or a huge live show. So you want to start with a really nice granular pad. Just grab a little bell sample one shot, something like that. And then we're going to put that into Faceplant's granular sampler over here and adjust all these parameters, kind of like this. And now if we hold down a note, we should get some kind of pad. So let's just hold down a really nice minor chord for like about 2 minutes. Then we're just going to put a ton of reverb on that. So that by itself sounds really pretty already, but if we're going to add a low sub under everything, then the audience is going to really feel like they're floating on bass. So let's do that next. We're just going to grab a serum and use a saw wave with 16 unison voices, use a little bit of detune and put a low pass on it. And then we're just going to hold the root note of our chord for a very long time. That's nice. Next, we could add in a little bit of additional atmosphere, like maybe some rain sounds. And why not some wind chimes too? Now that we're this far, maybe we could add in a little piano theme to make it more emotional. Maybe something like this. I feel like by now also all the lights should have gone dark already, so it's like just this very intimate atmosphere. If there's anything on the video wall, that should also probably be dark. Maybe just like some faint glows, maybe some star constellations, something really beautiful. And then as it rises and rises, we're gonna bring in more and more pads. And it's gonna get louder and louder. And then, chords.
All right. So that is my current show intro. I thought that was like a fun idea to make it kind of meta and it being a tutorial about how to make a show intro. We can also look into some stuff if you're interested, like especially those show-offy sounds at the end. So like when obviously I'll be hiding on stage, like behind the DJ booth for the entire thing, and then when the like white strobes flash, that's what I would like come up, and then it's like, oh, super epic, and that's sort of what I had in mind when I made this. So yeah, obviously that's just one way to make a set intro. Like there's not one perfect way how to do it. I'm glad you all enjoyed that very much. Also, I saw Rye in the chat throwing in $10 and asking how often do I do the remix contest in classes. Like every once in a while, like I'll at some point in every class I throw you all some vocals, like vocal stems from songs, like maybe the Promises vocal stem, and a bunch of others, and some from my old songs from like the Still Kids EP and stuff. And then you can just mess around with those, and if you come up with like a cool remix or edit or bootleg of those, I am always super happy to hear them, and you'll have a chance in class to show those.
I think some students have made like a full group remix too in the past, right?
Oh yeah, right. There's also there've also been collaborations, obviously, between students in my class who either like remixed something together or ended up collabing together. So you're also obviously, you don't have to, but you are heavily encouraged to interact and talk to your other students, like to your other people around you, and you have the Discord to chat with everybody.
Yo, Nasco's saying hi.
Oh, Nasco.
Yo, what's up, Nasco?
Sweet. Oh, we have some celebrities in the chat. Nice. Cool. Yeah, so that was my intro. Some other ways, obviously, to make a cool intro is like you could start with like an ARP that's really slow and then speed it up and things like that. I've done that before. Or like something pendulum style where you have a dramatic spoken word thing saying some very profound words over some cinematic background. But yeah, so for like a lot of those really show-offy sounds at the start, maybe we could look into those really quick just for fun, and then I can also like give you a preset that kind of does that. But there's like kind of what makes those really cool is a lot of pitch bend movement and some like speed changes in an LFO. So it goes like speeds up or slows down, like there's like a lot of things happening at the same time. And if you're hearing one of those sounds and you're like, how do I do that? And I've been telling my students this recently. Remaking a sound, obviously I learned a lot of my techniques by trying to remake other people's sounds. Like who am I kidding? I started listening to Skrillex and was like, I want to make that, and I tried and then failed, but learned a lot about sound design that way. And recently Phonon made a video about the problem with method sound design. And it's like a double-edged sword, because the YouTube tutorial space for music production has grown so much, which I'm so happy about. Like when I started, there were barely any tutorials up, which is also one of the reasons why I started putting up tutorials. But then today, if you are just starting and you go on YouTube and you try to find out like how to make this specific sound in this specific patch, you'll often find guides where they walk you through it step by step, how to like get to that end result. And you'll get there, but you will miss out on like either like you get there but you don't know why it's working that way. Maybe they'll explain it in the video, but also you lose out on the experience of finding out stuff for yourself and experimenting. Obviously that is always connected with frustration, because you're just starting, and even like I'm now, when I'm trying to recreate some sound, let's say Space Laces put out Voltage 4 and I'm like, wow, that sounds crazy, I want to try and just for fun remake some of that, and I don't get there, then obviously that can be frustrating. But on the way there, I might have learned some new things. And that is something no tutorial can give you at times. So then that's like the point Phonon was kind of making, where this exploration part is just as important, I think, for you, and also helps you so much to find your signature sound. And then I was thinking, but is there a way to help you still with that method of exploring and figuring out how to like remake a sound that you've heard? And I've been thinking, what do I do every time when I do that kind of stuff? And for example, with the sounds from this intro, like for example, that last dramatic noise. Oh God, go away, black screen. Shift, Control, Option V, Command V, crazy combination. This noise here, for example. Wait, did I switch over to Ableton? Nope. Here. This last sound here that we heard. I'm gonna turn the volume down a bit. Obviously, there's a lot going on there. It's a very complex sound, but when I'm hearing that, I'm like listening to, okay, what is happening in terms of pitch over time? Like, how is that changing? And it's just like you can kind of hear what the sub is doing. Like it goes up an octave really quickly and then slowly goes back down. If you're having trouble like hearing that because sometimes the sub is really low or your speakers might not go that low, pitching the whole thing up an octave is very helpful, and even Sunny does that sometimes just to check what note the sub is actually playing. That way you can kind of like hear a little more easily what's happening. So pitch over time, and then like volume over time. So we can even see in the waveform here, there's like this plucky kind of thing happening. That kind of sounds like, so plucky, kind of like a saw ramp down or like curve down kind of thing that goes clink, 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 and it goes faster and then it slows down. And then the last thing is sort of like frequency-wise. Is there anything specific happening? Obviously, this is a very like a lot more complex. This is not just like a saw wave or something. But like what I mean is if it's like a sound with a square wave or a saw wave, and then there's a filter on there, you might be able to hear that the sound starts soft and then it gets brighter over time and then it gets soft again. So you might be able to imagine that maybe that was done with a low pass filter that like opens up and then closes again. So that way you might be able to piece together at least a little bit of information about the sound. And then when I try to remake something like that, I start sort of in that order. Like, I think this song, like this intro is in D sharp. And then I would just like hold down a note. Like something about this long. And then I would start, okay, first thing, pitch movement. It had that octave sweep where it goes up quickly and then it goes back down slowly. So I would just dial that in with the pitch bend automation. Maybe stay there for a moment and then go back down. Maybe it can like land on that ending note for a little longer. Cool, and then we have that. And then the next thing was volume over time. So it was doing that plucky thing. So let's just start by putting a plucky LFO on the volume. That has this saw thing, and it was starting really fast and then slowing down, like not synced to any BPM. It sounded really free, so let's just put this on Hertz mode. And then it was doing something like that. So it was somewhere in this range. This felt normal. We could obviously just automate this knob, but we only really need this range. So to have a little more precision, I would just put a macro on here and just give it a range where I don't want to go any faster than that, and I don't want to go any slower than this. And now we can just automate the macro, and we have a little more precision here with this. So maybe it's like speed up a little bit at the start too. Maybe I feel like it just started kind of fast. Kind of like that, and then it slows down. And then maybe this is like where a little bit of fine-tuning starts. Like I don't want it to end this awkwardly, so maybe just by changing the ending point here a little bit, it's gonna... That feels better. So nice, now we have that. And then the only other thing is, in this case, like obviously I know what I used here. I used like a weird wavetable, and for the sound to just like dramatically change a lot over the course of this whole note, what I would do is I would find a wavetable that sounds very different on one end, and then like just like has a lot of different changes over the course of the waveform. I've made some myself previously. I could show you how to make those, by the way, if you're interested. Also, let me see, can I pull up the chat on the side here? I need to like check the chat every once in a while. Also, $2. Thank you very much. To make it big as an... Any tips on how to make it big as an EDM producer? Remix memes and post it on social media as a start. Also, we had a quick production question. Since you've worked around Skrillex before, did you ever get insights on how you approach those early FM growl sounds? A workflow perspective. We can look into those as well. So, we got this far. Let's also add a sub, because there seems to be a constant sub under this that doesn't seem to change in volume a lot. It's just like that top layer, like the sub. Maybe. Let's just keep that on. And then I've made some wavetables like this, but we can also make one from scratch if people are interested. But I would just grab something like, let me see, I've made some, let me find this real quick. Even on, oh, it's mini waves crossfade. So this is just a mess of lots of different stuff. So there's a lot happening there. And that just needs to change over the course of this whole sound. We could put an LFO on that. That's 2 bars long. Or we can just use another macro. So I'm just going to have that go from here to here. So it scans through the wavetable. And then we can, now that this automation is happening here, we can kind of like dial in the perfect spot. It might have even been this wavetable that I used for that. Let's just go with that for now. Yeah, so that is sort of the basic setup of this, and then it's just about making it like a little more intense sounding, like maybe detune and stereo width. By the way, can you hear the stereo width? Is the audio for Ableton good? Is it too loud or too quiet? Like, let me know. Does this sound good? Sounds good? Okay, cool. Nice. Definitely stereo. Yep, is good. Cool, sweet. This is not a wavetable that comes with Serum, but I will give you these. I will give you this, and I've made some this year that I put into a folder here. I'll give you those as well. But I can also kind of show you how to make something like that real quick. This one's obviously, there's like a little more happening here where these are like very, very different, and I might have like taken these from different like frames from other wavetables and just added them all together. But to get something like this really quickly is kind of not too difficult. So take a crazy glitchy sound, can be something from Splice, it can be something from one of my sample packs. Like I have a lot of these Buff Eater, because the plugin I made them with was called Buff Eater, glitchy sounds that sound like this. There's like a lot of stuff happening in those. Let me find one real quick that is going to be perfect for this. That one. There's like a lot of variation. There's some bright bits, there's some dark bits. And then I'm just going to import that here. Obviously, you could just try your luck by putting this in here and go constant frame size, pitch average, and see what happens. Does that look? That doesn't look too bad. If we go into edit window, yep, this kind of looks nice. Let's see what we got. If I can do this. Nice. A lot of chaos. Alternatively, what can happen, obviously, is that it doesn't do a good job at auto-slicing it like that, and it might do something like, I'm going to see if I can get it to mess it up. This all worked out pretty well for this sample. Oh yeah, sometimes you might get something like this, where there's just like nothing, or all of these are just like really low resolution looking sine waves. A quick thing you can do is if you go into this edit window here with a little pencil, you can, in the formula parser down here, I know the formula parser is intimidating, but you can just put in a number like 2000. And now if you drop in a sample here, it's already says split at 2000 samples. So each wavetable frame is going to be 2000 samples long. Like a sample in this case means one little pixel of audio step in the waveform. And 2000 is kind of like a really nice bright resolution, so there's a lot of stuff, a lot of like a chunk of the sample in each of these frames. Neat. And if that was too small, then just as an example, if this was 200, it would just kind of end up looking like this, where there's like a lot of frames with just this kind of stuff. And they all don't sound very bright either. Kind of sounds like a low quality version. So that works really well. Let's do that again, 2000. And then you can either obviously use that, or if you feel like it, you can just go down here and pick your favorites. Like, I like that one, so I'm gonna delete all of these. Those first three are kind of nice. Oh, those two are nice. I'm just looking for like a lot of variety, so it like changes a lot from one frame to the next. So like one frame is really bright, the next frame is kind of dark, the next frame has a weird resonant tone in it. This one sounds awesome by itself. Let's find like one or two more. Like that one. That one. That one has a cool resonant tone in it. That one's cool too. Fuck. I'm gonna keep that. I'm gonna just delete these. That one's crunchy sounding. Yeah, and maybe those last two. There we go. So now we've got 11 selected. That sounds really fun by itself. Let's just like assign the macro that goes through the wavetable position. Obviously that's steppy, and we still need this. But then we just go here and say morph, crossfade, or spectral. Let's make that stereo. And add some effects to like beef this up a little bit. Some hyper, some distortion, some compression. Nice. I might have also used an actual low cut to do that. Neat. It might have even started a little more percussive and then this kind of open up over time. We could do that too, where we just put in a macro on that. Neat. Yeah, now we've sort of... We've done a cool, dramatic, impressive intro sound. This could get some compression and distortion, like some more fattening with my patented fat rack. And then the last step to like make this a dramatic, impressive sound for an intro is to add some reverb and delay at the end. So it like sounds dramatic and epic. So we're just gonna have this delay here, and that's just gonna like fade in at the end of this. There you go. Maybe layer that with like a cool riser or some like noisy effect, and then that can be a really cool sound for an intro like this. The sound's kind of like Eliminate too. Like reminds me a little bit of something he would maybe do. Neat. Oh yeah, sorry, that just got a lot louder. Before I forget, quick mention, because it's that type of stream, every once in a while we're going to mention in the description are links to the Slam Academy website where you can get some free stuff and you can sign up for courses, including my course, which is a 12-week course on advanced EDM music production in Ableton, where you can either sign up in person for the in-person class here in Minneapolis at Slam Academy Tuesdays from 7 to 10 p.m. or the online class, which will be over Zoom. That will be Wednesdays from 7 to 10 p.m. Minneapolis time. And yeah, JP, anything else you want to add real quick again? This is the guy who started Slam Academy.
Hey everyone, yeah, I think just click the link in the description and you'll get a free membership to Slam Academy, and it's members who get dibs on the limited seats with Val. So if you want to work with Val for 3 hours a week for 12 weeks for the entire course, plus get 4 hours of live coaching sessions with all of our top instructors. Those are all available just to members. So if you're interested in joining us, the course is actually really affordable considering what's going on in there. And all you need to do is click the link, create your free membership, get dibs on the course, and we will be starting them every 12 weeks. So, but the very next one starts next Tuesday and Wednesday. So it's at 7 p.m. Central Time for 12 weeks straight, about 3 hours every time. If we can get Val to shut it down ever. Sometimes he just never stops. And we love working with you. Slam's been around for 14 years. We're an Ableton certified training center. We have over 20 different programs. So if you're not quite on Ableton Master yet, or maybe want to learn more about sound design or vocal production, or we have a bass music production course. We have a couple levels of DJ courses with great instructors like Abstract Sonance and Seppa and Youngsta. We've got a lot of great people on our squad. We'd love to work with you. So if you have any questions about that, you can email us info@slamacademy.com, or better yet, just click the link to grab a free membership. Included with the class, though, in addition to 3 hours a week directly with Val and the 4 hours a week of live coaching, you also get 200 plus hours of production courses. We have over 20 different programs, and you get all the videos. Also, just for the core membership, you get all these exclusive videos of just Val teaching. So if you just want to dip in and do it for free and watch some cool videos that you can only get as a Slam member, that's a great option. Also, you're going to get a free copy of Serum. You're going to get 50% off the Ableton Live Suite if you don't already have that, plus 50% off of Isotope, Fab Filter, Sound Toys, all sorts of other stuff. And the list goes on and on. The exclusive VR course materials are also vast. So that's custom racks and presets galore.
And it just keeps growing.
Yeah, and if you want to fast track your EDM production, we are here to help you out. Slam Academy, just check us out, slamacademy.com. Click the link in the chat. And again, we're honored to work with you. So thanks a lot, Val, for being here, and thanks to everyone here in the chat. Enjoy
Sweet.
the rest of the stream. Thanks, Val.
Nice. No problem. All right. I also finally was able to get the chat up on my phone on the side here. My YouTube app was bugging out, but now I can see. Someone asks, do I lose access to videos or stuff when the 12 weeks are over?
No, just keep your membership going.
No, just keep your membership going. And then someone asks, I'm stuck in a 16-bar loop of a drop. How do I extend it? We might be able to get into that as well. Also Serum is free for those who take the class. I actually was just thinking, because this was something I wanted to show today as well, you might be wondering how to make like those crazy sounds that I was just using here to make the wavetable out of, like this glitchy chaos. That kind of stuff. That one specifically was made with a specific rack, like a specific reactor ensemble by Twisted Tools, but you can make very similar stuff just with Ableton stock instruments, and I will show you how to. Also, oops, I moved this and it got... I have the automation lock on up here. I must save this as a preset for you all for later. By the way, I do this a lot. This is a really nice way of saving this kind of stuff. In my user library, I have like a folder of this kind of stuff, like basses, synth lead presets, and these are all like Ableton. They look like Ableton project files, but it's just one track. So let me show you what I mean. You can just, I'm gonna just make a new folder here real quick so that we can put it in there. New folder, Slam, oops, you're not supposed to be in there. So if I have I'm gonna have this fresh folder here. So I'm gonna name this track Serum 2, so I know it's a Serum 2 sound, and then intro dramatic bass, and then I just drag this entire track over here to this folder. So this just shows up as like a .als here. But now, whenever I'm in a new song, in a new project, in any project, I'm gonna just make a fresh project here real quick. If I now drag this in, this will just spawn a new track, and it comes with the Serum, with the preset in it, the fat rack, the effect, and the MIDI over here. I can just move you over here now and then resave you, and also all the automations that we did. So this is a nice way of saving an entire chain plus the MIDI plus the automations as a preset. And you can also do this to entire groups. Obviously, you could take an entire group or even your entire project and drop it into another project if you want to stitch together two things. Sometimes, especially when my laptop is really struggling, I might make the second drop of a song in a new project file and then just drag it into the first one to like bring everything together. Someone's asking, is that included in the $99 monthly? I'm confused on what's in for the monthly membership and what's not.
It is.
It is.
Free.
Oh.
It's free right now. So the $99 month is free for this month.
Oh,
if you check the link.
Yeah, so if you go through the link in the description, the two links, the $99 membership is free for a month with that first link with the free stuff, right?
Yep.
And
it includes a bunch of stuff. I can bring it back up.
Yeah. It includes, does it say that on the side as well when you go there?
Yeah, which thing were they asking about?
Yeah, can you specify real quick, just do add virtual Riot so I can see it a little bit better. But we want to make sure none of you are confused.
It's all free with that.
And so that's free for a month, and then that would also be part of the $99 membership afterwards.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Yeah, everything we talked about is free for a month with the link in the description.
You can go get Ableton half off or whatever you want with those codes right now.
Yeah.
Have that membership. And all the samples from today as well. All that.
Yeah. Nice. Ba-ba-da-ba-da. I hope that answered the question. And also, so I was going to talk about how to make like that crazy glitchy stuff. So if you have seen my previous videos, you might know that I'm a fan of random modulation and chaos for glitchy stuff and for some fun variations. And Ableton stock effects kind of can create that for you if you use the built-in LFO. So the LFO has this beautiful mode where this can like modulate anything for you. Obviously, you can like link this to all kinds of things, but it has this obviously like a random mode where it's steppy, and you can smoothen that out. But this isn't my favorite curve. I feel like the best one is like the glider and the stray. So these are both very chaotic looking modulations. Yes, this stream is going to be saved. And what we can do is we can link like multiple of these to all kinds of parameters in an effect to create some absolute madness. Let me show you. So for this purpose, I have made myself, I'm just going to do this from scratch really quick so I can show you. I would make myself a little rack where I have a couple of these LFOs in there so that I'm able to immediately assign them to all kinds of things. And then for all of these, I'm going to just do this for the first one. I would have the rate linked to a macro, so I can control the rate from over here. And maybe the depth as well. Let's just do that, so we have that in case we need it. And then if we duplicate this now, all these duplications also have that, so we can control the speed of all of these together. Neat. And then we could grab something like, let's say the vocoder. Like Ableton's vocoder. Also, I want this to like look really neat, so I'm just gonna like put all of these into their own rack and hide them, so we can still see one LFO, so we can like see what's going on, but we have all of these other ones here as well in case we need them. And then let's put the vocoder at the end here and just start assigning stuff. So let's set you to 40 bands, and then I'm gonna have one of these control the upper range, one of them control the lower range, one of them is gonna control the bandwidth, one might control the depth, but also it gets louder when the depth goes up, so I might need another one, like that same LFO, to control the output gain in the opposite fashion, so that it makes it quieter when that depth goes up and makes it louder when the depth goes down. Maybe the formant as well. Why not? Link you to the formant over here. Oh, yep, you can already hear what's happening. And then I'm just going to put like a multiband dynamics at the end to just like tie everything together a little bit, because we're going to have some volume fluctuations. Maybe an OTT. Why not? Who am I kidding? Neat. These are all assigned to stuff. Let's minimize them. Maybe the release. Maybe this one can also go to something. Or the gate. And now we have slightly controllable madness. Just with a saw wave coming in. I'm not saving this one because I already made it, and I made it just a little bit better. So let me just grab this from over here. I just called these like Chaos Vocoder, for example. And then I've done this with all kinds of other Ableton stock effects as well. Oh, sorry, that might be a little bit loud. So the vocoder does just that thing. We could also do that with like a filter or just an EQ, which can add some really fun filtering. Quick example. We could do this with a filter. Like, let's grab the auto filter and maybe use a notch. So we could have that randomly moving up and down for us, again with a random LFO. I was gonna do that real quick. Bam, bam, and glider. And here is a fun little addition to this. We could make this really stereo by duplicating this. So now we have this happening twice with different automations, with different modulations, but one of them is only going to be the mids, and the other one is only going to be the sides. All right, that added some weirdness. Then I've done the same thing also for things like the pitcher or the shifter. Where are you again? Over here. Like, let's do this with the shifter, but on pitch mode. So in this one, I've attached it to the chorus pitch, the spread, the delay, the feedback. So now we already have a lot of stuff going on. And all of that just from a saw wave. I can like bundle all of these up real quick into one big rack, so we can just like input, output. Come on. Sometimes it takes a moment for the stuff to come through. Mental. So you can kind of see where this is going. You can do this with all kinds of effects, and eventually you'll end up with a beautiful mess. The grain delay is also a good one for this. So I'm going to give you all of these racks, by the way, at the end of today. You're going to get a download link to these. Sometimes the volume overall like keeps going down between these because some of these are like destructive, like the filter. Obviously the notch filters here that I added are like removing something from the sound. So just putting like a little multiband compression after that is gonna bring the sound back up a little bit. And one of my favorites, even though this is super simple, is doing the same thing, but just on the volume. So this is going to sound so dumb, but just grabbing a utility and putting that really fast LFO, we can go crazy from here. This is the basic setup. Just grabbing that really fast LFO and saying, hey, you go from 0, not to 100%, because you're going to blow your speakers and your ears maybe, because that's going to move this gain knob from silence to plus 35. So we want to cap that at 50%. And if we put that on the gain, now we've got random volume fluttering. We could maybe move the offset of the LFO down, so it kind of has a 50% chance of being just at absolute 0, and then it only goes up to 50%. Now we need the cap back at 100%. So now we have like this random flutter. I know it gets a lot quieter, but now we could do some fun stuff where maybe we split this for left and right. Like, just duplicate the whole thing, and then another utility first, where here you just get the left channel, and you're going to be panned to the left. You just get the right channel, and you're going to be panned to the right. Now we have 2 individual ones for left and right. Also, maybe let's make it loud again with some compression afterwards, just so we compensate for that. Cool. And we can go one level crazier. Before I do that, I want to link the speed of these to a macro again. We could go one level harder, where now we have it split to left and right. We could also do it multiband, so that we have like high, mids, and lows, each getting their own volume flutter. So I'm gonna group this again, and then we're gonna make 3 of these. And for the split, I'm just gonna use, I know it's not the like cleanest cut, but EQ3. So let's link the crossovers, like low and high, to 2 macros, and then also the rate of our chaos. And then I'm just going to do this 3 times. And this one only has the top one on, the next one only has the middle on, and the last one only has the low on. And now our crossovers are like, yeah, let's do like 500 hertz and 2500 hertz. Super munchy and weird. Absolutely love that. And this could happen at any stage in this whole effects chain, by the way. So let's minimize that stuff, and that could maybe also happen before the pitcher. Yeah, maybe here. There we go. Yeah, you might need a little more CPU for this kind of stuff. Or if you have dropouts, obviously go into over here and increase your buffer size. Maybe that's going to help. Let me just save this chain just in case you want that exact setup of things. But you're going to find all the different parts here in the racks that I'm going to give away as well. So that's all these like Chaos Flutter Stereo Multiband is what I just built for you. Just in a little nicer looking. And then we've got Chaos Neurofilter MS is the one with the filter, with the notches that I just built. The grain delay one here also has like a dry and wet, and after 33%, it's just adding another grain delay. So you can have this presets here too, like 1 delay full wet, or 2 in a row, or 3 in a row. If you want even more chaos, everything is possible. Sick. Really quick, F. Chopin, $10, thank you very much. I went to Chicago to see you live. Obviously, it was cancelled all, but I can't wait for another opportunity to listen to your music live. I've been addicted to your music for like 10 years. Oh, thank you. Yeah, we're gonna have a Chicago makeup show for sure. Also, Chicago has a cool Ableton user group community. If you're into music production, you should check that out. Let me bounce some of this. Obviously, this is gonna sound different all the time now. The grain delays just don't shut up. Back to 33%. So what I would do, how I would use this, is I would then create an audio track that's set to resampling as the input. By the way, you can make that your default input. I recommend that if you're doing a lot of sound design. You just make an audio track, set that as the input, and you right-click your audio track and say, save as default audio track. Because then it's automatically right there for you. And then I would just hit record. Let's record a little bit of that. Nice. So now we could play around with that, import that to make a wavetable out of it, or process this further. One of my favorite things to do, I just want to show this because this is like also, I've been enjoying this a lot, is just using the beats mode on transients, and like on either this forward loop or back and forth loop mode, and then just stretch it by ×2, for example. And then we're going to get all these cool little stutters. You can see where this is going. If we now throw some fat rack on this, just for fun. I just want to hear it. I'm going to turn down the output volume a little bit. Absolute chaos. Nice. We can also turn this into something beautiful. This is the next thing I wanted to go to, with some cool features of Ableton effects that you may or may not know about. Really quick, there were another $10. First of all, $5 for Fuck Gravity, thank you very much. And $9. At some point in the future, could you go in depth on how to design a tonal bass like the purple Lambo yoink or the yoinks from your Hold On edit? Yeah, absolutely. What was that? Oh, Jekyll and Hyde in chat. Nice. There's probably some other people in chat that I forgot to shout out. Oh yeah, Nasco. Great way of emulating Buff Eater. Exactly. It's kind of like it goes into that direction. If you haven't known about it yet, if you're into color bass, you're gonna love this. Ableton's Spectral Resonator now is scale aware, which is gonna sound like gibberish to most people on this planet. But you can sort of fake a pitch map with this a little bit if you want to. Really quick. So, Ableton's Resonator by itself usually kind of sounds like this. Getting Backstreet Boys. Flashbacks. Like you pick a frequency and it's gonna like resonate in like, it sounds kind of like a comb filter, right? Like a positive comb filter. You can have the decay here. You can dampen the decay of the high and the low frequencies. Cool. So far, so good. The stretch makes it a square wave. Or something in between. That's fun too. And you can obviously play this with MIDI, but you can also, there's this new button here. I don't know if this zoom works, called Quantize. And if we hit that and turn on the scale aware and then select, like, let's say we're in D sharp minor pentatonic, then we get color bass. Nice. So that's fun. You can play around with that, and then the granular option here can be kind of cool too. The mod rate is sort of the spawn rate of the individual grains. I would just call it that for now. At a low rate with a long decay time, you also, and like, let's bring the damp down a little bit. Get very nice spectral plinks and ploings. In increased unison and a little bit of detune, why not? Nice. You can have some fun with minor pentatonics that way. If we wanted to, I would maybe also, and I've been doing this a lot, I do a lot of parallel processing. So obviously this sounds nice if the original sound is a little bit mixed into it with the dry wet here. But I want, I'll make this shorter, but I want just this, the beautiful layer, to have some delay maybe. So I would just group this, create a new chain. So now we have them both together again, and now I can just put echo and all kinds of stuff on this. Maybe increase that a little bit, maybe also some reverb. So I do this kind of processing a lot, where I split things up a little bit. Neat. Besides moving like the frequency here up and down and the stretch and the shift to like hit lower and higher notes, you could also put a frequency shifter before this. That's fun too. Just to like move it up or down, or put the frequency shifter afterwards to make it weird. Neat. I'm gonna save that as well. Actually, let me see if this works. Sample, stock pitch map-ish. And if I put that into the folder I made earlier here with the track presets, if I just grab that and throw it in here, it's also going to create a little thingy again, and it should include the samples. Let me just see real quick, show in Finder. No. Probably going to have to do like a collect all and save vibe for that. But you're going to need this sample, I guess, so I'm just going to put that in here. So this should kind of work, I think. Or you just put something else in there. But I'll render this sound out anyway. And you have the chain to make the chaos. Or I haven't saved it yet. Let me save this. Sam2 chaos chain. So you can just put whatever you want on that. Nice. Just making sure you got everything afterwards. Beautiful. Let me just make a clean slate real quick. There are some other, let me leave this in place. There are some other fun stuff, fun things as well with Ableton stock effects that you might not know about. And also, for some people this might be important, you can get back all the old Ableton legacy effects, like the old phaser, flanger, chorus under packs, core library, devices, audio effects, legacy. There's like old stuff here, like the old auto filter, the old auto pan. And sometimes you might want those. Especially like I like the old chorus a lot. Just there's like some additional settings here where you can just do some more fun stuff. Old phaser, flanger, the old Redux, in case you need those. We might hit on that in a second again, but what I wanted to show you, and this has also been a favorite of mine recently, is the delay. Just the Ableton delay has some dramatic feature that I think is very underrated. Let me grab a little drum loop, like a little breakbeat or something. Yeah, why not? That sounds perfect. Neat. And you might have noticed this before. If you use a delay and you change the delay time, it like moves the pitch up and down like that. But it doesn't have to be like that. Obviously, that can be a cool effect for some glitchy mess as well, like especially if we turn on ping pong. You can kind of fake a tape stop with that too, which is neat if you don't have a tape stop plugin, though Kilohertz tape stop is free, so you don't need that. But if you change this to fade, then it's not going to do that repitch thing. As you notice, it's staying on the same pitch. But it's kind of like doing this weird glitchy time stretchy thing, which is very fun, because now if you, for example, are at a very short delay time and you increase it, it kind of starts stretching the sample in real time. So you can do some fun stuff with that. And if you go fast enough with turning this knob up, it actually reverses the sound. Like at the end there, I hope you were able to hear that. And you can do some fun stuff with this. Again, with ping pong, this gets even glitchier. So that's pretty neat. We could use the internal modulation here to like have this rate modulate the time on 100%. Maybe even slower. Obviously on a drum loop like this is absolute chaos. But if we put this on something melodic, like a nice little ARP or something, that can get really pretty. Let me see what we got here under melody loops. And ARPs we're also going to look into. Cute. That's a nice thing that just stays in one key, and that could create some nice weird and trippy. Sometimes I like that kind of stuff. And I've made like a cool washout rack with this that I'm gonna give you too, where it includes that as sort of the slowdown effect. I think it's this one. Let me see if I automate this over the course of the sample. There's a little frequency shifter at the end as well. But fun stuff. Put a chaos in the delay. I mean, the delay doesn't have... We can totally do that too. Like moving the filter up and down, absolutely good idea. Now you know how to do that kind of stuff. You can play around with that with any effect in Ableton if you feel like it. The EQ as well is really fun. Let me just do that real quick, and then I just got another note on the side here that I need to address. But just as a quick demo, actually let's just hold a note, or maybe we have like a respace here, or we could make one real quick with like let's just make one real quick. 2 saws. We might change these as well. Let's make an FM res super fast, where we FM. I'm just gonna call FM A from B, and then B from C. And then all we need is some detune over here. Add a sub, add some distortion. And maybe try out some different waves. Like what if this was... Neat. And maybe some high pass real quick. So we get that beating effect. And maybe a little more movement. Ah. That's neat. Add a little bit of noise. Cool. That sounds fine. Also, if we pitch this up, this is gonna sound great. But if we want like a lot of cool motion really quickly on this, let me just beef this up a little bit. Obviously, this is going to take some time to set up, but once you've made this, you can very quickly throw this on something and it might create some fun stuff very quickly for you. So that same chaos approach that I showed you earlier, we could do with an EQ. This might end up a little crazy, but let's try this. Again, let's make a rack with an LFO on glider for some random movement with the speed linked to this. And let's attach these to these EQ points. So for example, for all of these, let's put all of these on the frequency. So each of these gets their own bam, and last one, bam. So they're moving up and down chaotically. And then let's make one more. Also, I should have done this before. I should have had the depth and the offset also linked to the other macros. I am very sorry. Let me just do that real quick. And then I won't forget that for the others. Offset, depth, offset. Cool. Just so we have some more control over it afterwards. Neat. That's those. I'm just going to make a new one. So this is controlling our frequency. We could name this Freck. Oops. Hello. There we go. We could name this Freck so we know what's going on. And then this is going to control the gain of all of these. Beam, bam, bam, bam. Pop them up. You go here. You go here. Oh, that's starting to look pretty fun. And you go here. And then we could do the same thing with the Q, or we could just, for like a global control, link the Q of all of these to one last macro. Oops, no, not two. They all go to one. So now we've got a very organically moving EQ. That's just doing some fun stuff. Minimize all y'all. Obviously, that is gonna like go up in volume very quickly every once in a while. So let's put a limiter behind this. And increase the speed of this. Decrease the Q a little bit. And why I put these depth and offset controls here is because now we could say with the depth, for example, we can have them all kind of like stay together a little more, like in a certain area, to not go all the way up or all the way down. And the offset now also lets us move that whole group like kind of to the top or to the bottom. And then same with the gain. So this is the overall gain strength control. So we can sort of control how intense that's going to be. And maybe I want the intensity all the way up, but I don't want it to like boost that much. So maybe we can change the offset so it kind of like stays in the lower half a little bit. Neat. And that's just 4 points. We could have done this with 8. So you can create some fun chaos with this very quickly. And if we wanted to, we could put all of that into a group and just duplicate that. So we have that twice. There we go. And if this isn't intense enough for you, you could just bring up the scale here. Hehe. Neat. Absolute EQ chaos. Sorry, I could just sit here for the whole time and listen to that. Maybe a transient shaper could be fun for this. It's gonna like bring up the loud moments even more. Let's duplicate that. Oh, hi, oversampled. Good to see you in the chat. Neat. Let me save this one too. Serum 2, random EQeries. Put that into the folder for today. And also I'll add all the serum wave tables from earlier. So you can also mess with those. Oh, what happened? Oh, I saved the wrong one. That was almost tragic. Okay, all good. Random EQeries. One more time. This is the actual one. Bam. How to Noisia. Yeah, kind of like that. Neat. All right, we're still keep going, but I wanted to mention the class one more time.
You texted me.
Wait, is this what I got from you, or?
Yeah, those are lemon stars.
Okay. Oh, is Lemons in the chat? Or Oh, sweet. Oh, nice. Hi, Lemons. How are you doing? Sorry, I wasn't reading the chat for a while. Again, quick update if you have just joined or joined in the last 20 minutes or something. I'm at Slam Academy. This is where I'm teaching my advanced EDM production class, which is a 12-week course with a 3-hour class every week, on Tuesdays in person here in Minneapolis and Wednesdays online through Zoom. And in the description, you'll find links to a free membership for a month at Slam Academy, which gives you access to a lot of stuff in the knowledge database, a lot of video material to learn from. And then you can also, the next link, you can find ways to sign up for either one of those classes. We obviously only have a limited amount of seats, but yeah, join in if you want to. There's a bunch of people in the chat actually right now who have been to that class before, like Lemons, for example. What was it you said that I should mention?
So the video before and after of Lemons here. So all I need is a before track, and this is forever. After track.
Oh, nice. Oh, we have some. Yeah, let me grab that real quick. So Lemons has been in my class as well a couple of times. And we have some before and after that he's cool with us playing?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, nice. That's so sweet. Some like before and after VR class examples. Let me load those in real quick. That's awesome. Oh, thank you, Lemons, for sacrificing yourself for this cause. That's so sweet. Oh, nice. Thank you for joining the free membership, Martian. Also, Duba Music asked, I'm really sorry I'm annoying you with the questions. Oh, no, you're good. You think that remaking good tracks that you want to make something similar to is a great way to learn sound design techniques? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's sort of how I started. Like, a lot of my early stuff, you'll realize that Never Enough is basically the My Name is Skrillex remix, and We Never Sleep is kind of like Kill Everybody and that kind of scream filter bass. Like, those were all just me trying to make something like the song I had just heard that I really liked and trying to make something similar. Also, yeah, I've tried the new Ultra synthesizer. All right, let's check out Lemons before and after. So all I need is before. Okay, so yeah, he's been part of my class for a while, and let's play this. Oh yeah, this is 6 minutes. We don't need to listen to the whole thing. But just so you get an idea. Nothing wrong with the chords and the melody, but very static sound. Like, develops very slowly. Especially the chords are kind of this very not detuned saw something. I'll skip ahead a little bit because it's a very long one. There are drums, but they're very quiet. So like all the ideas are there. And then this is after coming to my online class. So many more layers already. Yeah, Lemons, how much time passed in between? Lemon says 1.5 years between the previous one and this one. Oh, where's this going?
Check this out.
Check my.
Ooh, that snare. That was sick. Absolutely love that snare. So that was a time frame of 1.5 years between those two. And also this just gave me the idea also to like, I could show you some stuff that I did in my previous class, for example, like some projects that were made during class. For example, in like the later weeks, like week 8 or 9, I will start like doing a remix of a vocal from start to finish. 12 out of 10, 20 out of 10. Nice. Yeah, let me show you some stuff, because some of these resulted into some really pretty things. You also, Cora Valley Q. You also get a lot of stuff, like, for example, here we had one vocal in 3 different genres when, like, we were talking about the different styles between different genres and the drum patterns. And let me open up that one real quick. That one's cool. It's a cool example of what we do in class. Anything you can tell us about the new LP, asks Basti. It's in the works. You can hear a bunch of it at my live shows currently. No, I don't have the mastering for Cora. I just did a little bit of post-production. I just did an EQ on the Cora song. That's all. So what do we have here? Oh, we had the Taste of You vocal. Audio. Why no sound? Oh, because USB audio codec? Is that why?
What am I supposed to do?
You can still hear this, right, everybody? Just making sure.
What am I supposed to do?
Yes, okay, good. So we had
What am I supposed to do?
the Taste of You vocals, and then we did... What does this look like? This looks like 130, could have been garage. This is 174 drum and bass, and then we did another 130 like house. So this is something like I'd do in class, and I'd explain like in detail what makes those genres different and sort of what's like the vibe for the drums.
What am I supposed to do? Sink my teeth in you. I start without you on my lips again, and I can't offend about it. What am I supposed to do?
Kind of like explaining the drum patterns and shuffle and like where to put the kicks and the snares. Then we've got the drum and bass version over here.
Sink my teeth in you.
Oh yeah, this was to explain like jump up drums. Like different drum and bass drum patterns. And then this was, I guess, more of a housey bass house one.
What am I supposed to do?
So these all sound like okay, but this is all to just explain the different methods and patterns for these different genres really quick, and this all happened in like 3 hours plus explaining plus questions. And then obviously you all would get that project file at the end of the class, and then the homework is me giving you a couple of different acapellas, and then you're supposed to do a similar thing where you pick 3 different genres. You can pick mid-tempo, like hardstyle, whatever you want, and basically do a quick remix, do like 8 bars in 3 different genres using that same vocal. That's like one example for that. Someone says, you can buy plugins instead. Don't take classes. Google things. Yeah, but you can't ask, like, you can ask me things and I can give you feedback directly. And if anything confuses you, I have the answer for you most of the time. And there's a lot of stuff I will go over that might not be on Google like that. Plus, you get all this stuff for free to work with. And you get homework, like customized homework files.
Rather ask Reddit or virtual Riot?
You can also go online and do that too, absolutely. But I don't know why you would say you can buy plugins. That's funny. And then really quick, this was a cool one that came out after, like in one of those classes. Let me just find the project file real quick. How deep? Like I did a remix of How Deep Is Your Love during class. And then I started it during class and kind of like got towards the drop, and then homework was for everyone else to also come up with their own drop idea. And then again, the next week, everyone who wants to would share their result in the chat. I would download the files, I'd listen to them all, I'd give feedback. So that's how sort of the dynamic of this course works. Oh, Irgendwie so halt asks me, do you know SAE? Yeah, I think Autodrive went to the SAE in Cologne, my old friend Autodrive. You wouldn't download a car. Someone's also asking, hey Virtual Riot, do you have a low budget course / masterclass for third world countries? $1,500 in total for Slam Academy is like 1 year of salary in Brazil. I totally hear you, and that's why I do all my videos and tutorials on YouTube for free. Obviously I have my Patreon where you can support me and you get additional stuff, but I am never gatekeeping any of my tutorials. I put everything on YouTube for free, and there's so many other resources as well.
Also, all of your workshops are free with this membership right now.
Oh yeah, also with the free Slam membership right now, where you can get the free month, all the workshops are free, and so there's always like options and things like that to look out for. So even without a budget like that, you can do it. You can find a lot of resources. All right, let me see real quick if this is the thing. So obviously there's a lot more going on here, but yeah. So for this, I think I just AI extracted the acapella. Where did it go? I want you to breathe me. Did I turn it off, or is this already like further ahead where I might have removed it at this point? I gotta find the earlier version. I'm so sorry. We gotta hear the proper version. Maybe this one. Also more questions. Awesome stream. I've been a fan for a long time. Appreciate your work. I just have a cool question. Would you recommend your Slam course even if I'm an FL user? A lot of stuff is Ableton focused, so maybe things like the sound design classes might be a little more universally applicable. Obviously the DJ or vocal production classes, when it's like, obviously, but then it includes like third-party plugins. In my class, I try to stick to like Serum and then Ableton stock plugins, so that makes that a little bit easier. So that's kind of a little bit difficult. Yeah, a lot of this is more Ableton focused. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, classic different project version. This is also not the right one. Also, have you ever experienced burnout? Have you ever felt like you didn't want to make music? Because that's what I've been going through for a couple months now. Absolutely. Like a writer's block or some burnout is totally normal and nothing to be afraid of. And what helps me is, first of all, doing any other thing than making music. Wait, just for this bit, if I'm like yapping, we could just move over real quick for a more personal up close. Doing any other thing than making music. Also, like obviously listening to a lot of other music, subjecting yourselves to some new genres you haven't listened to. Watching some movies that really inspire you. Often watching a movie with a great soundtrack really inspires me to make something in that style a little bit. For example, the Blade Runner, the new Blade Runner movie, the newer one, I really enjoyed, and then made something like that in that style. So that really helps. And also, whenever I feel like I don't have an idea for a song or I know like what I want to do, obviously I always have the most efficient sessions when I sort of have an idea in my head what I want to do today. Like I want to make a song that feels a certain emotion, or I have an idea for a melody that I want to really display in the best way possible, or I had an idea for a cool rhythmical pattern that maybe I want to try out with a bass and a drop, or I want to try out making something with chiptune, maybe make an intro that sounds like a Game Boy boss fight. That was the boss fight after party song idea, and I only made that intro, and then the rest just kind of came from that. Or I want to make a remix of a vocal, I want to do a mashup of different things, or I just want to make something using this one plugin, like limiting myself a little bit to a certain thing. All these things can spark your creativity a little bit, and I kind of like want to write down a little list of things that might help for this kind of stuff. But I'll also, then if I don't have any of those ideas, and I don't know what to do for today creatively, I'm just gonna go try out some new plugins, even some, like, I don't even have to buy anything. I could just go on KVR Audio and download some free plugins. If you're using Ableton, grab some cool free Max for Live devices that do some crazy stuff and play around with them. Sometimes I'll even just go through the stock effects and pick the one I've been using the least and see what I can get out of it and how to abuse it and make some crazy, if there's a way to make some crazy stuff with it. Or just go sample browsing and make like a little library for yourself of your current favorite kicks and snares and drums and effects, so that when you have an idea, you have those ready to quickly drag in, like risers, fall downs, impacts, kicks, snares, hats, so you don't need to dig for samples for forever while you're working, so that you can just like stay in the flow and write stuff. So that really helps me. What was that?
Give some insight on like how you mentioned limiting your options and choices, or like maybe even removing things from your track might actually be like a step towards a more advanced skill, kind of like you talked about Sonny taking stuff out of your track and you're like, oh, that was my thing, but you know.
Oh yeah, like yeah, reductionism also definitely helps. Like first of all, obviously like choice paralysis. If you have tons of plugins, I have too many plugins for my own good. What helps me a little bit is like making these groups up here that sort of limit it a little bit. But even still, this is like a lot. And then if you're stuck on things too, like there's so many different ways. Obviously, there's so many videos on YouTube on the how to break out of the 8-bar loop pattern and how to continue. And I talk about a lot of methods on that in class as well. Like one of my favorites is, this works really well for things like house or more progressive genres where like it builds a little more, is actually, bless you, like stacking the loop, adding more and more layers, maybe turning some layers off, adding in some new ones, just like really filling it up to the absolute brim, and then starting to like duplicate that over like 2 minutes and deleting things out so that, oh, maybe it's only going to start with these 2 things I made, and then this third thing is slowly going to come in, and then you kind of like arrange it out from there. That's one of the classic ones. What another favorite of mine that I've done before also is, if I'm completely stuck and I don't know what to do anymore, I would just bounce the whole thing, the whole 8 or 16 bar loop, maybe with maybe just the drums separately, and then in like the basses and the melodic things maybe in like 3 stems or something, and then make a new project, import that, and pretend I'm remixing that. That sometimes works really well. Like, oh, this is just a sample that I'm starting with. That works really well too. Oh yeah, also if you have class-specific questions, always Evoke in the chat is part of Slam Academy. He can answer your questions. He's already doing that, I see. Beautiful. Alright, I think this is the one. Okay, so in one of the classes in the online class, I've made this remix of How Deep Is Your Love, and then just like from start to finish, and I'd explain all these little things. For example, like right at the start here we've got this little impact, so I would just like show, hey, how to make like a little impact effect by putting a lot of reverb on a clap and then reversing that reverb into it as well, and then adding a kick drum and maybe running a kick drum through a lot of reverb for some low-end rumble, and then all of that together will create a nice little start impact, and just like go through all of these things individually. Same with the risers. There's probably some custom-made risers here as well. Yeah, so let's listen to this one real quick.
I want you to breathe me. Let me be your air. Let me roam your body freely. No inhibition, no fear. How deep is your love? Is it like the ocean? What devotion are you? How deep is your love? Is it like Nirvana? Hit me harder. I am. How deep is your love? How deep is your love? How deep is your love? Is it like the ocean? Pull me closer. I am. How deep is your love? How deep is your love? How deep is your, deep is your, deep is your?
Yeah, some missing parts, because that's where we ended, sort of, during the class. Somebody asked, isn't this a Mephius song? Also, someone said, shouldn't all risers be custom? I mean, after, like, when you're sort of done arranging everything, you can totally, like, customize and make your own risers for everything, but you don't have to make everything from scratch. If it sounds good, it sounds good. I am all in favor of making your own stuff, especially if that's part of your flavor and your signature sound, to have like a certain style in risers and fall downs and your effects. I sort of gravitate to a certain type of sound when I pick my risers and fall downs, so that also has a little bit of influence on that. And in here, for example, I've made some stuff from scratch, but then also layered it with samples. Let me see real quick. This is probably a rather simple one. So that was like an example of like a quickly made synth riser, and then layered that with a sample of, this was actually a downlifter that I reversed. So maybe you could call that custom. But I also show you how to like sort of make something like that yourself. Like put a lot of reverb on a crash, reverse that, use Ableton's like complex warp algorithm, and then like pitch it up or pitch it down. You can do all kinds of fun stuff. And we talk about all of that in the class. $5 from Alien Insect Base. Hey dude, been listening since 2012, 2013. Have you ever created music for world building, your own universe with its own characters? Not particularly exactly like that. I mean, some things sort of like simulation, sort of that kind of, the concept of that kind of like came into being, and then it was like, okay, like what could we do? How could the intro sort of be in that world, and the outro, and sort of have the album be a little bit cohesive with that? Or Stealing Fire with the intro, it has like this whole scene with a character going into a temple and lighting a torch from like a huge goblet of fire, and then the goblet turns off and the building starts to collapse and they run out, and it's like this whole thing. So it's like a little bit of that. But maybe in the future, I grew up on progressive rock and progressive metal, where a lot of the albums are super conceptual, almost like a musical with different characters, or like a whole storyline that goes through the whole album. And I really always enjoyed that, because that's what I grew up on. So maybe in the future, I would love to try that for a whole album. So if you have, and this is good to have, if you have something like that in your mind, like an idea like that, like a concept theme for the song, that is so helpful, because it'll also make, like, it'll solve a lot of questions for you, and some, like, things will just fall into place. Like with simulation, or if it's like themed around a certain thing, like let's say a song is themed around computery sounds, and then you start adding like a Windows login effect, like the Windows XP opening or something, but you put it into a granular synth to make a pad out of it, and then maybe we could use some other interface sound from Windows and make a riser out of it. Suddenly it's like, oh yeah, that makes sense to use that here to do that, to do that thing with. Often with a good concept, a lot of things will just then automatically fall into place. The best idea is an idea. Exactly. Yeah. Oh, also, thank you, $5 from Odin. Is it harder to get DJ bookings when you're over 25 and just starting to play shows and release music? I don't know. I don't think so. How ageist is the music industry? I don't think so. I feel there's like people who started pretty late and still. I mean, obviously David Guetta started younger, but he's older now. He still tours. But who is that Asian guy that did the Boiler Room set that really blew up? The guy with the shirt off.
Yasuke?
Huh?
Yasuke?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like he was. How old is he? And he only started
He
recently.
had a brain tumor and he was like instructional.
Yeah. That was the whole backstory. A lot of people, oh, Busty, you're like, I wish I started earlier. Dude, you're so young. Oh yeah, Yosuke Yukimatsu. Yeah, the GOAT. So, start now. Like, it's never too early or too late, I'd say. Or it's never too late. It can never be too early. There's no age limit for producing, exactly. Nice. So yeah, this was a fun one. Just a little look at this lead sound for fun real quick. Sub. And then I would for example show this is like a very basic sound where it's like the sync here doing that high note, and a classic thing I do a lot is because that sound is kind of very mono by itself, except for the little bit of reverb that's on there. Also, I think the wobble comes from here. So that's just put on top afterwards. And then I would just duplicate that and make a second version. And this one's very wide. This one's like a lot messier. It doesn't have that crispy top end, but it's a little quieter in the back. It has this hyper on it for the stereo width. And I changed the tune of the sync here a little bit so that together they like play this third, and then all together. Creates like a nice big sound. And somebody asked about my mastering chain. We can have a look real quick. It's just a utility where I do all kinds of fun stuff, like in the build-up here, it's making the song more and more mono, and then on the drop it snaps back to 100% width. And then here I'm using Ozone, but in my class I will also show you how to sort of get a similar result with stock plugins, because there's not really a lot of crazy black magic happening here. It's just an EQ, a mid-side EQ, and there's not even anything happening on the mids here. The sides have a low cut and a little bit of a dip here. A stereo imager, not crazy important, but you could build something like a multiband stereo imager with stock plugins as well, where I'm just like making the very top end a little wider and then the melodic lows a little wider. And then a multiband compressor. Just with like certain settings. And then there's no maximizer on here. Like this is off. This is just clipping into the red in Ableton. And I'm just using this clipper right now to be able to play it quieter for you while it still sounds the same. Because this is the only clipper, it's actually quite cheap as well, very affordable, that sounds exactly like Ableton's output clipping. Shout out to iFeature for showing me this one. Nice. So that's another example of stuff we do in class. And let me see real quick if I can find one of the homework ones, which was very fun as well. If I can find this real quick. So we had the one vocal 3 genres, and then a little online week 8. That was stuff. How Deep Is Your Love remix, vocals to play with, chords to vocal exercise, drop arrangement exercise. So this was a really fun one that people enjoyed a lot, and I'm gonna make a lot of variations of this one for the class as well. You're gonna love this. This is like playing Legos. So for this, I gave the class this project file that had just a little drum loop going on over here with a little bit of hype in the background. So what you got was this. That was it. And then you got these samples, like a couple of one-shots. Some vocal samples.
And I don't stop.
Break it down. DJs operating.
Drop like a guillotine.
And some effects. And then your job was to arrange these, like use these, not all of these, whichever ones you wanted, to into a drop pattern. And obviously ahead of time I was talking a little bit about call and response, the different like patterns of bro step or trap or something like this. Drop like a guillotine is awesome, I know. Oh yeah, let's do an example really quick. So I'm gonna move these to the side here, and then let me activate all these tracks so that these are on. And then let's see what we got here. This one's like a good classic bro step hit on the one. And let's see. This is good for like a fill at the end. I'm gonna just move that over here already, so I got you. This could be just the hit right after that, and then we could... Let me see.
Someone says that actually sounds like something fun to do as
Yeah. Let's use this one. So I would also in class show you how to like mess with the audio, like stretching, shrinking to get a cool pattern out of things. For example, let me think of like a pattern first. So I want like da 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 bow bow wee. We need like a little yonk here. But so now that I'm hearing this in my head, ba 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 ba. So those need to be like longer. So we could actually just even just with this one sample start messing with the warp and get to a cool result that way. Maybe. Wow. Something like that. Nice. If we want this to sound a little cleaner, maybe Complex Pro is better. Cool. That worked better than I expected. And then a quick little hit on the end. Oh, actually, this little reversey boy could be cool here as well. Love that sound. And instead of a bass,
Break it down.
maybe a vocal shout.
And I don't stop.
Drop like
Get your ass ill.
my trigger finger. Got my kick it on the one, black.
Kill that noise.
My trigger finger itching.
Which one?
Ill. Let's get.
Maybe just let's get bam, and then the next hit on the one. So move you over here.
Let's get.
We gotta also retime you.
Let's get. Let's get. Let's get.
That works. Make you a little shorter. Put you on maybe tones mode,
Let's get.
so it sounds crisp again. And let's just for now throw an OTT on that and a low cut.
Let's get. Let's get.
Nice. That sounds nice and compressed. And then let's loop this, like repeat this on from here to here, and then we got a little fill over there. So now that sounds like.
Let's get.
Maybe there could be a little variation in the second half, like da 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 da, like a even faster one, ba-da-dum. Or ba-da-da ba-da-da. I kind of want to hear that twice. Sweet. And then this is sort of like, you could think of this as that being the call and this being the response, if you wanted to, in like a small little granular broken up way. Or this sort of just being like the initial hit and then this being the main pattern. But we could then follow this up. Whoops, I'm stupid. We could follow this up with an actual response to this whole pattern, so that this whole thing is the call, and then we make a response here. So you kind of like start to think in these little patterns and then in these bigger patterns. This is sort of like a little turnaround or fill. So now for the response, let's see what else we could do with the material provided. Maybe this guy. Bantinton, Bantinton. Maybe something like that. Da, 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 wow. Let's see if we can modify you to be like. You sound a little. Struggles a little bit with that stretching algorithm, but I don't care right now. I just want to get something out of this. You get the idea. And then a longer turnaround at the end here would be good.
Kick it on.
What could we do for that? Wow. This is thrown together really, really quickly, but just to get that across. This could be the last hit. All right. So now we have call and response sort of between this, and again in a repetition here with some variation, and then overall this is the call for the first 4 bars, and then this is the response for the second 4 bars. is an option. Here's a result I did during class. So I did the same thing while the people in the class were doing this. Can you say preset junkie, please? You want to sample that? Preset junkie. There you go. Get some ad-libs from the stream. Also, thank you, Busty, for also pointing people towards the link in the description for the class and the free month of Slam Academy membership. There's the poster. Do you write other genres like house or just dubstep? No, I do mid-tempo, house, and drum and bass from time to time as well. This was my result from that.
Break it down.
Kill that.
Yeah, same thing here with the big call and big response. The mixdown is, yeah, it's fine. But you get the idea. So that's what we do in class. So I invite you all to join the next 12 weeks. Enrollment is still open? Yes.
Seats are limited.
Seats are limited.
I have a before and after from White Raven.
Oh, we also have a before and after from White Raven. Maybe that's a good thing to end on. And I also want to make sure you all get the stuff from today. So let me make a folder real quick and put everything in there. So you get like a little Dropbox folder. VR Slam Academy Workshop Stream Files. That is a mouthful. And then I'm gonna just put all this stuff in there real quick. I might be even able to include this project file, so you can also like have a go at this. That could be fun. Let me see, what was this called? Drop arrangement exercise. Nice, let me grab that from Dropbox real quick. So you get drop arrangement exercise. Obviously you need Ableton 12 to open this, just make sure. But the wavetables I'm gonna give you, you don't need Ableton 12 for those. Those you can just put into your Serum wavetable folder. Let me also get the stuff I saved today over here. Bam. And then you're gonna get the wavetables. White Raven's like, I was hoping y'all were gonna forget. No, dude, what you showed me in like the last class was awesome. What do you mean? Oh, did you send the Fuse bootleg? That one was awesome. Whatever you send. I know it's gonna be great.
Limit is before and Trinity Limit is after.
Okay, let me just grab the tables real quick. So user, I'm gonna grab the mini waves one as well. If that isn't in here yet, nope. So you get wavetables. VR Serum wavetables, and also let me give you that folder of the crazy glitchy stuff here, like all of that stuff. That was fun. You can have those too. Glitch. Nice. Oh, okay, yeah, sure. Let me grab the before track. I'm gonna just put this all into Ableton real quick. Oh, good. No rush. Virtuite, do you learn any foreign language? Yeah, this is a foreign language to me. So I speak German, and I can order food in Japanese. Also, Andrew, thank you. I love your streams. Come to the Real Life Amphitheater in Selma, Texas. I was just in Texas. Do you make any in the future music with Skrillex like Bostep or Dubstep? Yeah, maybe. Where will you put that stuff? Yeah, I think I'm just gonna put that Dropbox link into the description. Actually, let me make sure all of that is uploaded, and then I can just give you that real quick. Stream files, copy link. So, files, bam, save. All right. The link to the files from today is now in the description. And now let's check out one more before Virtual Riot class and after Virtual Riot class. This time from White Raven. Let me switch back over here. Let's go. Again, the idea is there. The mixdown needs some work, some like fills and stuff, maybe some cool variations. But the idea is there, and then we got this. That was before. This is after. So this is his remix of Fuse.
Listen, yeah, that. It is in the jungle.
The tiny snares. I love it. Sick. Yeah, mixed down so much better. Cool fills, cool variations. Absolutely love it. Also, somebody asked, also, yeah, all the samples in there. Somebody asked, did you learn how to produce alone, or did you have a coach for that? No, I learned everything by myself, pretty much, but I wish I would have had a coach or some kind of class for that. But now you can, through Slam Academy. Nice segue. So, the camera's inverted. It's always the wrong direction. Also, someone asked if I was bald under my beanie. That's why I took it off. To squash the baldness allegations. Again, thank you all very much for chiming in today. One last time, in the description are links to A, the files from today, and B, the 1 month free membership at Slam Academy, and the sign up link for the classes. Oh yeah, the Dropbox link's gonna self-destruct in 24 hours. Exactly. Also, big shout out to Alden in the chat and the other moderators like Busty. Shout out to Lemons and White Raven for giving us before and after files from the class. Thank you all so much for chiming in, tuning in today, and I hope to see you in class. And if you don't make it into this time around, in 12 weeks, the whole thing is gonna restart again. And also it gets updated, the whole curriculum that I make, I update it every time a little bit. We've had people just be in 3 classes in a row as well, and they loved it. At least I think they did. Otherwise they wouldn't have been there. Thank you all so much. Any other questions? Exactly. Email Alden, alden@slamacademy.com. Oh, oversampled if you're joining. That would be awesome. Nice. That'd be awesome. Hell yeah. Sweet. Oh yeah, when does sign up close again?
I think it's the 26th.
26th. If you have one last question, now's the time. Maybe I can play something in the background as well. Yeah, why not? I can play you new tune that I'm working on. Just gonna play this in the back. Favorite soda? German Fanta is pretty good. Actually, Spezi in Germany, which is sort of mezzo mix, which is I think also a European thing. It's literally half Coke, half Fanta. Can you release Über dem Meer? No, it's with someone else. I would have to ask her, and I don't have the project file anymore. Will the Classics album ever return to Apple Music? Let me look into that. Also, Riot 3, hi! Will you come to Italy in the future? Maybe. If you book me there, and it fits into a Europe run, super down. Will you please come to Real Life on Theater? Yeah, in Texas. Book me there! Again. Your favorite technique for making a sine sub loud without distorting? Shape the wave in Serum with this. Here, like that. Do that. Oh wait, you can't see it. Do this. Here. And make like overtones and turn it into a soft, rounded square. Maybe add some even harmonics like that. Where do you get the sound packs only? You can go to my Patreon. The link is also in the description. Or did I take that out? It should be at the bottom of the description. There's a shop tab where you can download preset packs and sample packs of mine.
That boy needs therapy.
Alright, otherwise if you want to see me live, go to virtualriotmusic.com and check out the tour schedule. I'll just play this out till the last drop and then bye-bye. Actually, I have one more thing after this. Yay! Ableton Metronome. I definitely, I mean, that a lot of people have done that before, but Sunny also did it at the end of Korra. Maybe that subconsciously influenced me to also try it. I wanted to show one last thing. So obviously, Suno and AI in music production is a thing that is becoming more and more prominent, and there are ways to use it in a helpful way as a tool. Obviously, there's a lot of slop and nonsense being created and fake artists on Spotify that are entirely AI generated. There's all that kind of stuff, but it can be useful for us producers too. Even Suno, where I don't like the CEO and he makes stupid comments, and it is a blessing and a curse, the whole AI music thing. Absolutely. But it can be helpful. For example, for the song you just heard, and you can discuss on this, the vocal is me. I had the idea for the lyrics and the rhythm, and I recorded myself doing it, and then I converted it into like a group of female rappers sounding like that, using Suno. If you want just in detail, if you want to hear what happened, this was me. Warning, cringe alert. I'm feeling high, no? You feeling high, no? I think we're never gonna die, no? So then I put that into Suno. And then I got something like this back out.
I'm feeling high, no. You feeling high, no. I think we're never gonna die, no.
And then I just did that a couple times and started messing with it and put it into the song. So what do you think about that? Is that an acceptable use of generative AI in a music making context? Because like, otherwise, I would just end up trying to change my voice and record myself a couple of times to sound kind of similar. It would sound a little bit worse, but I would go with that. Yeah. So I just wanted to put that out there. And in other ways Suno can be really useful is you probably also have a lot of 8-bar or 16-bar loops that you're sitting on and you don't know how to continue those. I have so many sitting around, obviously, that like where I'm like, how to continue that? And in Suno, you can just like upload something and then have it like remix it or extend it. And sometimes that can sort of give you some good inspiration on how to continue your idea. You don't have to end up using anything of the actual audio that Suno made, but maybe it gives you some sort of inspiration of, maybe this next section could go a little bit into that direction. Or it could do this kind of switch up. Or maybe this kind of rhythm or pattern is interesting and I'm gonna play around with that. And I'm just gonna like, now I'm gonna open up that old project again and continue working on it. And it's been really fun for that. I've only ever, so far, I haven't done that or used that in anything yet. But maybe for one idea recently, I might it inspired where this might be able to go because I didn't know where to go with this. One example would be, for example, I gave it this. Some of you might remember this ID. So that was sort of the idea, but then it did some cool idea out of that. Don't get me wrong, the audio quality is whack. Like, audio quality-wise, it doesn't sound good, but the ideas are interesting. I have to say that. And here's an absolute madness that I also, like, prompt-wise, I put rhythm hyperglitch. That's it. I don't tell it anything else. I just let it go ham because I just wanted to, like, throw some shit at the wall. One more example. This one's actually crazy. I gave it a loop, and it was this input. That was fully AI, yes. I gave it this. That's all it is. And then it came up with this. Came up. It's very sloppy. It just keeps going. The riser. and so on and so forth. Very snail's housey, right? So yeah, I feel like we as producers just need to know that that's where AI is at currently, at the least. You don't have to use this, and you can like it or not, but I think it's important to like be aware of what is out there, and who knows where this is going to go in terms of quality, you know? Like, we were thinking the same thing with image and video generation, like, oh yeah, that looks like crap, and then the Sora is starting to look pretty good. And yeah, this can be helpful for spitting out some ideas. There's like maybe just a little bit of a melody in there, and then you just recreate that, you start messing with it yourself, you start changing it up. Like, that's totally fine, in my opinion. And it's this is enjoyable for at least for me, for my producer ears. Like, obviously the quality is still very horrendous and it's very sloppy, and you can hear the artifacts, and it has this certain Suno sound to it, which after a while you get really tired of. But the ideas are entertaining, and there's nothing wrong with like getting some inspiration from it and then just make the stuff yourself. Yeah. Because otherwise, those ideas, like some 8-bar loops, are just going to collect dust forever. So why not? Yeah. Those were my thoughts on that. I just wanted to end on that. This is obviously like a controversial and divisive topic, I know. Yeah, I just like to stay up to date and test out the tools and see where they're at. And then for the vocal thing in the Burning Out song, it like did a good job. So I was like, yeah. But yeah, you can definitely refine that kind of stuff. I might upload segments of this stream to my YouTube channel, but I don't want to save this entire stream because I showed you my whole show intro at the beginning, and I don't want to like just give that away for everybody straight away. I might upload the whole intro later, like towards a later point in the tour. Yeah. All right. Thank you all for chiming in. I hope I left you with some food for thought. Everybody have a good rest of your day, and see you in class. All right. Bye-bye.